Well, good morning and welcome to the 11th edition of these roundtables. Today, the subject matter is 7 prospecting tips that will double your response rate. And I have to own up, I forgot to press record on the formal session, the formal roundtable. So I'm recording this separately. So for those people that weren't able to attend, we can still share the information. Unfortunately, it means that some of the debate afterwards I won't be able to include. But hopefully, getting the 7 tips will help you to be more effective prospector in due course. Without further ado, let me share the screen and get onto the presentation itself. So, 7 prospecting tips that will double your response rate. It's interesting because when we started to consider this roundtable, the concept of prospecting is alien to lots of people who operate in project program and change management. People see it as, and I do, and have done in the past, see it as a sales part of a sales process. And we don't do sales; we manage projects. But whether or not you are looking for a new career, whether or not you are a new role within a new organisation or a new project, or you building a consulting business, we all need to prospect. We all need to engage with new people and build that network. So I don't want to apologise for using the word prospecting, because that's exactly what we're doing. And I think that these 7 tips will help you to become more effective at the role of prospecting. So if I sort of go back to the session that we ran last week, which was on the buyer's journey, we spoke about these sort of 6 stages of that buyer's journey. And today's session, we're going to concentrate, the prospecting element concentrates on those, helping you to build those through those first 3 stages of that buyer's journey. If you want to remind yourself what we covered last week, or if you weren't able to attend last week, go onto the Facebook group and you'll be able to watch a recording of last week's session, which included the discussion at the end. But yeah, today is 7 prospecting tips, and it will focus upon these 3 core areas. So the 7 tips, very simply, let's get your head in the right place and get the mindset right. Let's really focus upon quality, not quantity, and be clear about what we're trying to do. Allocate time, because fundamentally it's so easy to give up or to put it off, the whole concept of prospecting. And fundamentally, remember, you miss all the shots that you don't take. So let's allocate time. 4th, let's connect. You've got to stand up. You've got to make that first contact. And we'll talk about the reasons why people don't do that. But fundamentally, nothing happens until you connect. As always, and I keep saying this time and time again, these roundtables, lead with value, and start to help the prospect, your potential client, to understand the answers to 4 whys, which we'll cover off later. And finally, keep on keeping on. So let's look at these individually. First, on mindset. When I started talking about prospecting, or when you saw the first advert saying that we were looking at something on prospecting, what was your immediate response? Was it about was it fear? Was it disregard? I don't prospect, I don't need to prospect. Or was it excitement? Oh, that'd be really good. I'm really looking forward to understanding how I can get better at it. Equally, also look at that sort of what your approach has been to prospecting. Is it something that you do first, or is it something that you do when you've got time, and that mindset of I'll just put it off, I'll get around to it later. And then the third aspect of that mindset is really understanding, if you keep putting things off, why do you put it off? Why do you not prospect? Is it a fear of rejection? That's not uncommon. Is it the lack of time? Again, not uncommon. Maybe it's that you just don't know who you should connect to and contact, or you're not sure how to, or it could be a combination of all of those. But be clear about the need for prospecting. And after these 7 tips, hopefully we'll get into a place where you have a better understanding of who you need to contact, how you go about contacting them, and how to manage that fear of rejection. Because fundamentally, everything starts with a discussion, and prospecting is the first stage of establishing that conversation. So if you don't do it, you've got very quickly your number of opportunities will start to dry up. So it's an essential skill to develop. So, second point that I wanted to raise was about focus and that sort of quality, not quantity. We talk about this on many of these roundtables, but really start to understand who your ideal client is and what their particular pain points are. Once you've got those, you can really start to niche down and focus upon those pain points with those types of clients. And you can position yourself as the go-to person or firm for a specific challenge within a specific sector. That positions you in a great position, a great way, and will encourage people to engage with you. That's not to say that you can't take on work from other parts or other sectors or doing other things, but in terms of your marketing, in terms of your prospecting, become known for something. Because it's far better to be ultra focused on a smaller number than going too wide, because it gives you that ability to be really personal. It gives you that ability to invest time to get to know what matters to the individual and start to talk to them in their language. And fundamentally, research says top performers have a strict qualification criteria, and they just don't waste time with prospects that are not right for them. So focus on quality, not quantity. Third area is time. All too often, things get in the way, I find, and if you're not clear about the allocating time to do certain things, the things that you don't particularly like or particularly enjoy will get put to one side, and prospecting tends to get dropped into that bucket. So, me and my recommendation is establish a routine, is set yourself some daily targets. So, I have my hour of power, and every day in my diary, I've scored out an hour of my time. Doesn't need to be an hour, it could be half an hour, but there's an hour in my diary where I do marketing activities, prospecting activities, and in the routines, I post on social media once a day. Variety of different things. Could be sharing some information, could be promoting an event, could be a short video, it could be some knowledge that I have around a particular issue, could be a poll, but a whole range. Mix it around, see what works for you, but post something each day, and then also start to comment upon other people's posts. Other people that maybe are your prospects, that your ideal clients. Start engaging with them by commenting upon posts that they do, or on information that you think is relevant to them. Share it with them. Go and find out where they hang out. There's lots of groups on Facebook, on LinkedIn, that are very focused on a particular subject matter. So if you are very focused upon implementation of ERP systems, then maybe your core client is the chief information officer, or maybe it's chief finance officer. I don't know, but let's find out where they hang out and go and work with them in their groups. So go and join the group and share information, and just post, not to sell, post to engage. And then anytime anyone comments upon stuff or likes it, just engage with them. Start entering into a conversation, and ultimately, after a series of engagements, maybe invite them for a virtual coffee. Then you can start to really build the rapport, build the relationship, and you can move things forward. As I say, allocate a particular time in your diary, so you you've got time to do it. And I suppose the top performers, they realise that Often takes the same amount of time to convert a big deal as it does a smaller one. So again, be clear about who you're prospecting to, and focus upon a much smaller number, and be very personal with those potential prospects. The third element, or is it the fourth? I can't remember now. But yeah, connect. So we've said earlier that go out and hang out in the places where your potential prospects hang out. Is that LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn groups? Is it Twitter? Membership organisations, CBI institutes, etc. Engage with them. Never sell. Way too early to sell at this stage, but really just start to engage with them, build rapport, and establish that natural flow of conversation. The easiest way of doing that is share some knowledge and then ask a question. And once you've asked the question, listen to the response, whether that's an email, whether that's on a post on a social media site, whether that's in person. Actively listen and read how they respond, and then respond to them using their language. It really starts to build that connection, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to move people from not knowing you to knowing you to liking you and ultimately to trusting you. And at that stage, they'll be ready to buy from you. The next area is lead on value. Again, keep saying this, but you've got to be prepared to give value, to be seen as someone who understands their issues and their pain points. The way to do that is to give value, share information, share insights, help and guidance. And remember, no one's interested in you. It's true, I'm sorry, but no one is. They're only interested in how you can help them to achieve their objectives. So the more you can be clear about, I understand your issues, I understand your pain points, and this is what I would suggest that you maybe want to consider, the more you can get that out there into their mind that you are someone that they should be engaging with, the more successful you'll be. And fundamentally, any activity at this stage is all about selling them on the idea that spending time with you will be well spent and worthwhile. And sometimes you'll give more information away, and they won't take you forward. But actually, you put stuff out there, you put value out into the ether, and that sort of pay it forward approach often works. You might not get something back from this client, but another client will pick up on it, and you'll get work off the back of it. So the more you seem to be able to add value, the more stuff will come back to you. And I mentioned earlier about the 4 big why questions that any buyer goes through. And at this stage, although we're not selling them a product or service, we're effectively asking them to commit time and energies to get to know us. So the 4 whys are: why do I need your support? Why should I stop doing what I'm doing now and listen to you? Why is your solution better than the competition? And why should I believe you? And fundamentally, if you are putting stuff out, the engagement that you've got with individuals, if you keep those 4 things in the back of your mind, that's a great way of being able to take people on that journey to get to know you. And it helps you to build that strong value proposition. Some people, so that when I start ask questions, some people say, is there a magic question? And the answer is often no, there isn't. But a good question, and one that seems to elicit a lot of response, is, what would it take to? So what do you think it will take to move your organisation from A to B? What do you think it will take to overcome this particular issue or challenge? What support do you feel you would need to take you through this? So you're asking them to start thinking about stuff. And again, once you listen to the response, you can then start to engage with them in areas, in issues, and thoughts that they're having. And you'll start to appear like them. And ultimately, people like to work with people that are like them. And the final aspect of the seven tips is to be persistent. Um, and the best way of doing this is at every stage, every interaction, always have in your mind a clear next step and commit to doing that next step and agreeing that next step with the person that you're engaging with. This does two things. One, it takes away the woolliness that people have if you don't have clarity in terms of the ending of the message or the ending of the discussion. Um, but equally, it helps to build trust because you're saying to the individual that my time's worth, my time's got a value, your time's got a value. Let's agree to do X, Y, Z. So we agree to do that, and we agree to touch base in 2 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, whatever it is, or I agree to share some more information with you by this point. Set those expectations and then deliver on it. And by doing that, one, you keep in touch when you say you're doing, you're showing the information that you say you're doing. It's going to build trust. The other part of this is, in terms of this persistent, is never stop contacting a prospect until they tell you to bugger off. And I'm not saying that in a patronising way. I'm effectively saying people are busy, and unfortunately, people won't respond as quickly as you want them to respond. And but all too often, if you don't get a response back from an email or a phone call or a text message within a certain period of time, you immediately think, "Oh, they're not interested. I'll move on to the next one." And in my experience, keep on keeping on. Contact them in different ways, maybe through LinkedIn, maybe on a text message, WhatsApp, phone call. Try different ways of contacting them. And if you don't get a response after maybe 8, 9, 10 times, but I've seen a particular approach work really, really well, which is to drop them an email to say, "Look, I've tried to contact you so many times over the last few months. I've obviously done something. Hopefully, I haven't done anything to upset you. It certainly wasn't my intention if I have. But you're obviously busy. I'm going away now. Contact me if you want to move things forward, or if you want to continue the conversation." And what I found in a really, really high percentage, 70, 80% of times, I get a response within the hour to say, "No, you've not done anything to upset me. Don't worry about it. It's just that I've been really, really busy. Let's do X, Y, Z." And you start to re-engage those people that have gone quiet. It's an approach that's worked so well for in so many occasions for me. So definitely recommend doing that. And fundamentally, test different approaches and monitor the results. So don't leave anything to chance. Just keep monitoring, and when it works, repeat and rinse and repeat, and just keep doing the stuff that's working for you. But always be prospecting. It's the only way that you can keep your hopper full of opportunities. And the risk when you're working in project programming and change is that you get sucked into the delivery mode, and when you come out and you're looking for your next project, suddenly you're very busy. But what that does is very busy prospecting. So, but what that does to potential clients, it says you're looking for a job. If you are, or you're looking for a new project, or you're looking for a new client, if you are consistently sharing information, consistently contacting people in that hour of power every day, it stops you having those peaks and troughs. It helps to build trust and strong relationships, and creates that steady flow of opportunities. So there you go. That's the 7 steps of or 7 tips, prospecting tips, that if you implement, it will help you to double your results. We go into a lot more detail in these as part of the TLH 1% Club Mastermind program. And if you are interested in learning any more about that, please do come back to me, and I'm more than happy to share some more information. Equally, if you are interested in building and scaling a consulting business, but don't know what it will take, or don't know whether or not you've got the right skills and experience, try our scorecard. Just let me show you what it is. It's it's a 22 question process, and after it you'll get a very personalised report that identifies areas where you might need to focus or areas where you've got it absolutely spot on. Very personalised, and it's completely free. Takes you about 5 minutes to complete. So there's the link to it, after that, if we want to have a more detailed conversation about what comes out of that report, again, there's a way that we can get a strategy session set up. So with that, apologies that you haven't been able to have the usual, get involved in the usual discussions. Apologies about that again. But hopefully look forward to seeing you in a future roundtable next week. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.